Okay. We are on Daf Yud Zayin of Beis. Halacha Zayin. Hatzokea, somebody who blows shofar l'tzorch habor or l'tzorch hadus inside a pit or inside a dugout or l'tzorch hapitas, another type of hole in the ground. He calls shofar yotza if the person on the rim hears the sound of a shofar yotza. Then he's yotze. In kol avara shama, if he hears the sound of an echo, lo yotze. He's not yotze. Somebody who was passing on a shul, or base of some of the basic knesses, or his house is next to a shul, v'shama kol shofar or kol megillah, and he heard the sound of a shofar or megillah, and keeping libo yotze, if he was mechaven in his heart, he was yotze, v'imlav, and if not lo yotze, it was not yotze. V'avo pish zeh shama v'zeh shama. Now, even though both of them heard, Zeh kivin libo v'zeh lo kivin libo, the one who had a mind to listen was yotze, the one who did not have a mind to listen was not yotze. The pasuk, the Mishnah stresses somebody who was passing by. However, that's only if he was passing by. But if he stood still, I should make that clear. I'm explaining the way the Mashbiach explains. Says the only time we have the guy has to have actual kavanah to be yotze is if he was passing by. Because then I don't say stam das was to be yotze, but if the guy actually stood still when he was passing by, so I say even if he didn't have precise kavanah to be yotze, he's stam das. The default assumption is that he wanted to be yotze. Same thing in shul, right? Even if you don't have in mind specifically to be yotze, since you're standing in shul, so we assume that your das was to be yotze. Okay, so if you're passing by and you stand still, then that's okay. That suffices. Nothing shofar, so shofar. You put a shofar inside another shofar. If it's talk and you blew a shofar, in call maybe Yerushalmi yotza. If you hear the inner shofar, yetzim. Call chitzon shama. If you hear the outer one, lo yotza, you're not yotze.
How do you know which one you're listening to?
What?
How do you know which one you're hearing?
Depends if the inner one protrudes beyond the outer one. Because you're yotze that, then you hear that one.
They have different shofars have different sounds anyway.
What? Yeah, it could be you can tell the difference, I guess. Rabbi Avina by Hafcha, what if you turn the shofar inside out? Mau. Let's hear from here, from this Tosefta. Gordo, if you scraped out, now the next three words are a mistake, the way the Pnei Moshe Korbanei bring down from the Tosefta, it should be Gordo, Bein mi v'fnim, Bein v'chutz, whether you scraped it on the inside or the outside, kosher. Both inside and outside. Take out the word posel here. So, if you scraped it, it's kosher. Lo ma'ila gordo, says the diuk here, it says only if you scraped it. Hafcho, but if you turn it inside out, posel, that's no good. Okay? So scraping is no good, but turning it inside out is no good. Ma ben Zela said, what's the difference if you scrape or in the inside, or if you turn it inside out? Zabita chalolo, if you turn it inside out, then the original space is canceled. There no longer is the original space, because what was originally space is now, which originally was the inside is now on the outside. Originally the outside is now on the inside. So original space of the shofar, what was the original shofar, no longer exists. You created a new shofar, not out of a ram's horn, so to speak, but out of scratch.
How can you turn it inside out?
You cook it enough.
What?
They get soft when you cook it.
Oh.
Okay? If, however, you don't turn it inside out, you just scrape it, so it's still the same space on the inside, that's valid. Okay? When Moshe lifted up his hands, the Jews were victorious, right, in the war against Amalek. To the hands of Moshe, make the war or break the war. As long as Jews look up to the heavens and direct their hearts to the Father in heaven, they were victorious. If not, they were not victorious. They fell in battle.
What does this have to do with blowing shofar?
What?
What does this have to do with
Nothing. It has to do with with using don't think the shofar is a talisman. Has to actually, you have to have kavanah, the lavish b'shamayim. It's like kavanah. The previous Mishnah was supposed to have good kavanah. Yerushalmi Levi Amar, I never saw this before. Amalek Kaishvan Hoya. Amalek was a magician, sorcerer. Mayos, what they do here? Mami b'nei Adam b'yom ginusir shalom. They would take soldiers to fight on their birthdays. All the Amalekite soldiers who fought in battle were birthday boys. Why is that? Because Alomar, it tells Lobim Hero Adam Noifel Biyom Ginusir Shalom. Person does not fall in battle on his birthday. It's obviously sorcery, right? Because the astrological signs are with him. His horoscope is good that day. So therefore he doesn't fall in battle. So what does Moshe do? Ma'asa Moshe, Irbe V'Samazos, he changed the constellations. So the guy whose birthday today, his constellation was not today. To see like that which it says, Shemesh Yoreach Hamad Zvulo, the sun and the moon stood in their heaven, and the assumption is that the other constellations can be mixed up as well. Ksiv, it says, Nasan Tahom Kolo, the depths gave out their voice, in other words, there was great warfare. Rom Yodeu Mosom Arom, and how Moshe Rabbeinu lifted up his hands towards the heaven, right? Upwards towards heaven. So Yodeu Nasa, so the way we darshan that is when Moshe Rabbeinu lifted up his hands, then Nasan Tahom Kolo, then the voices gave the deep gave their voices, and meaning that Am Yisrael was successful in warfare to the point that Amalek, as Pnei Moshe says at the top, to the point that Amalek fell to the very depths of the Tahom. Shmuel Amar v'tzava tinosin ala tamid. The armies come on that which is constant, but pesha, because of criminal neglect. What does that mean? But pishul shel Torah, if Am Yisrael's posher and doesn't learn Torah, then armies come against it. Vatashlich emes arza. It says you throw truth to the ground. Emosai Yisrael mashlichen divrei Torah la'aretz. When the Jews throw words of Torah down to the ground, so then va'asta hamalchus akum azos, then this non-Jewish kingdom Gozeres makes decrees against us in matzlachas and is successful. My timer, why? If you throw truth down to the ground, then they will do and they will be successful. MS Torah, and MS means Torah, as it says, Hechmat Omer, like we say, MS Kinei, buy truth, foul Timkor, don't sell it, Timkor Chochma Musar Bina. Don't sell wisdom and ethics and understanding. Amrei Rapazi Zonach Yisrael Tov. When Am Yisrael forsakes that which is good, enemies pursue it. Vein Tov Ela Torah. Good is Torah. Chmada Tomar, like it says, Ki Lakach Tov Nasati Lachem. I gave you a good purchase. Telosiat Azov, do not forsake my Torah. Chayetzibos, similarly, Vayomer Shel Moshe, Hashem says to Moshe, Aseh l'cho saraf, make for yourself a serpent, the simos al-nes, and put it on a flagpole, right, the sign of the medical profession, the goyim. And v'chinoch hashmeim yisumachaya is a snake, that which kills and that which gives life. Elokosmat shitrom mistaklim klapi ma'alo, as long as the Jews looked up. Mishabnim eslibon lavin shemaim, and they made their hearts subservient to the Father in heaven. Hayu misrapin, they would be healed from the snake bites. Beloved, if not, they got zapped by the snake bites. Rabbi Yisrael says, Barba Mekomos Nemar Selucha. Moshe was told to make things in 4 different places. Bishlosha Pirish, in 3 places says what he was supposed to make them of. Ve'echad lo Pirish, in 1 place it does not say. Selucha Tevas Atze Gofer. Actually, not Moshe was told, but the people of Chumash were told. I take that back. Noach was told make a teva of gopher wood, so he knew what the raw material is. Moshe Rabbeinu was told to make 2 silver trumpets, so he knew the raw material. Yeshua was told to make swords out of flints. But here Moshe Rabbeinu is told to make a snake. Below Pirish, however, Hashem did not tell him what substance to use. So Vayas Moshe, Amar Moshe said, Ikara lo nachoshu is not in order. Its source, meaning what is coming to battle, is not a snake. The ficha therefore vayas Moshe nachosh nechoshes. He made a nachosh out of nechoshes because nechoshes, the word copper, is similar to the word snake. Mikana yoremer dore shemos. From this, Rameir used to say that one can darshan shemos. One can darshan the names to see what the essence of an individual is. For example, Chad Barna Shavash Me Kidor. There was a person whose name was Kidor. Funny name. Amalon Rameir said to us, Chuva. Chuva means, it says Chuva, it should be Chuva, the Mashbiach says, hide yourselves, Lechon Minei. Hide yourselves from him, in other words, stay away from him. Barnash Bishu, he's a bad guy. Why? Because the word Kidor, the name Kidor stands for Kidor Tapucho Sema, they are an overturned generation, a bad generation. So Kidor is a bad name, and he was a bad person. Okay? Rabbi Levi Sherman Chambar Bar Chanina said, Vayan Nachush Ein Ksiv Khan, it doesn't say Vayan Nachush, the person who's bitten, which would sound like only bitten by snake bite. El Kol Nachshuch, anybody who's bitten. I feel Nichichas Kelev, I feel Nichichas Nachush, even if it was by a dog or a snake, whatever it was, if they looked at this copper snake, they would be survive with prayerful intent, they would survive. V'lo damya Nichichas Kelev, V'lo damya. They're not similar, however, in the process required in order to survive. Now we're going to have a few phrases here where you have the word raw and hibit, right? Because in the pasuk itself it says once raw and once hibit. So the question which the Moshe and the Korbanei thrash out is if everybody agrees that raw is a less of a gaze and hibit is more of a gaze, or vice versa. It's not clear from the Yerushalmi. But let's learn like the Mashbiach that habata is more of a gaze than raw.
It's like perception, isn't it?
It's an understanding. Seeing with understanding. So, below diamond, shichas kelev. If somebody is bitten by a snake, all he had to do was glance at the pillar. The shichas nachash, if he's bitten by a snake, he had to contemplate it at greater depth. Rabbi Yehuda Guzraya, B'Shem Rav Acha said, the shichas kelev she'eno mimino firah, a dog which wasn't from the same typology, so that all you need is to see, because that wasn't part of the plate. The shichas nachash, if a person was bitten by a snake, which was part of the type of klala which was imposed, shirimino, which is the same, and is therefore the same thing as the figure on the staff, the vihibit, you have to gaze in greater detail. A dog bite which does not distribute the poison in the entire body, that you can just glance at. However, the bite of a snake bite which penetrates the entire body, and that you need vihibit, they need a careful analysis, careful contemplation of the flagpole in order to achieve tshuva, in order to be saved from death. Okay, and one of these people who are classified as insane, or lacking das, I should say, he cannot exempt the masses, okay, because they're not chayim. Anybody is not chayim, it's something he cannot be moti the masses, here specifically in the midst of Tiyah Shofar. Tani, we learn. Nevertheless, Chazal said, Isha mevarechas the baal, a woman can bench for her husband, Eved l'rabo, a slave for his master, Katan l'aviv, a minor for an adult. Nicha Isha mevarechas the baal, I understand that a woman can make a bracha for her husband, or an Eved l'rabo, or a slave for his master, because they're both adults. However, Katan l'aviv, but a child to his master, located Rabbi Yaakov B'Shem B'Yosef Bar Nuchraye, Kosher B'Katan Kedei L'Chancho, anything which they said by a Katan is in order to educate them, so therefore his chiyuv is only a chiyuv d'Rabbanan, right, to be educated, not a chiyuv d'Oraisa. Shaki B'Motzi, a Gadol who's chiyuv d'Oraisa. Says Marti Pater Bonachreim, you're right. When a gadol listens to a katan saying Shema, anything else what's the other them, he has to repeat the psukim after the katan says them, or to be outside. Okay. Ki he did see it like we learned over there. Misha Evero Isha Katan Makrimoso, somebody whose slave, whose wife or his child is reading him God or whatever it is there. Some tefillah, I forget what it is. They have to do responsive readings. They have to respond to what he's saying. And he should be cursed. Because a curse should become somebody who's in his 20s if he needs a 10-year-old to teach him how to daven properly. Okay? Yom Tov Rosh HaShanah. On we go. By the way, Monday or Tuesday we're going to finish the Masechta Yerushalmi. Probably Tuesday. Because at the end of the night we'll have 2.5 plows left. Okay? Yom Tov Rosh HaShanah is Chalios b'Shabbos. When the Yom Tov Rosh HaShanah, the first day of Rosh HaShanah comes out on Shabbos, but Mikdash they were telling they would blue shov in the base of Mikdash, Avalom Dina, but not beyond the confines of the base of Mikdash. The Shechorah base of Mikdash on the base is destroyed. Hiskin Rabbi Yochanan Zaka made a takara. She would tell you that they'll do Shov Rechom Makom Sheish Bo on first day of Rosh HaShanah come out on Shabbos. Bechom Makom Sheish Bo base in any place where there's a court. Rabbi Lezer, not true. Lo Hiskin Rabbi Yochanan Zaka she would tell him El Biyavna Bilvad. Rabbi Yochanan Zaka only allowed blowing shofar in Yavne, not anywhere else. They said no. It wasn't Yavne per se. It was any place to try to base in. There might only have been a base in Yavne at the time, but that's the reason why it was there, not for any other reason. Rabbi Yavra said, Rabbi Yochanan, not sure it should be Rabbi Yochanan, but in any way, he's telling over a story. Rabbi Yochanan, or I guess it's Rabbi Yavra Papa Amalei.
I realized why it was Yavna, because that was the one.
Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan Medzacheh took them there. Sure, right. Rabbi Yochanan again. Yavra Papa Omar. He told us Rabbi Yochanan should be Lakish Havi Yosefin. They were sitting. Makshin. They asked a question. Omar, they said, "Tia, we learned Yom Tov Rosh HaShanah is Chalios b'Shabbos. The first day Rosh HaShanah comes on Shabbos. B'Mikdash Hayutokim, they would blow shofar in the base of Mikdash. Avolo b'Medina, but not beyond the base of Mikdash. Not and not the rest of Eretz Yisrael. In Dvar Torah, so that's the Raisa. Apikvulin Yidche, so it should even push off Shabbos in the outlying areas, right? In the if it's the Raisa to be Derech Shabbos on the first day of Rosh HaShanah, so why only Yerushalayim? Any city should be able to be Derech Shabbos, right? And in Leisut Vartor, if it's not the Raisa, so Abba Mikdash Leidache, how can be Derech in Beis HaMikdash proper, right? So it says the what?
Ain't Shvus b'Mikdash.
No, but the whole mitzvah to give shofar is the Rabbanan.
Oh.
So why would you Mechal Shabbos at all, right? In Leisut Dvar Torah, Ab Mikdash Loyidche. So Rav Kana passed by. Army, they said, hi, Gavra Rabba, this is a great guy. Nishol, let's ask him. Asun Shalom lay. So they came and asked him. Marlon, so he said to them, Kosav Echad, I'll tell you, you came to the right place. Kosav Echad Aimer, one pasuk says, Yom Trua. A day of Trua you should have. The Kosav Echad Aimer, a day of Trua you should have. Kosav Echad Aimer, one other pasuk says, Zichron Trua. It shouldn't be a day of Trua, it should be a day to commemorate the Trua. Okay, Tzad, I reconcile the two psukim. Which one is it? Yom Trua, Yom Zichron Trua. When it comes on a weekday, then Yom Trua, it's a day of Trua. B'Shabbos comes on Shabbos, Zikaron Trua, then we do a Zikaron Trua, meaning Mazkirin Avolo Token. We only mention shofaros, we do not blow the shofar.
But that doesn't answer the question about why they blew it on Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah in the Beis Mikdash. How does that answer the question that was asked? Why did they blow the shofar?
It doesn't. The Gemara is going to answer your question. Okay? Rabbi Zira mafki l'chevraya. Rabbi Zira told it, either he didn't hear this exchange or he wanted to hear it verified, so he told the chaverim, Olun, go in, ushmiya kolon to Rabbi Levi, and go listen to Rabbi Levi. Dorash these darsning. Tleis efshudu mafshik parsha seid lofa. He will not leave out any parsha that he doesn't teach. Va'al, they came in, va'amar kumeon, and he said in front of them the same drasha Rav Kahana made. Kasav echaram yom true. One pasuk says yom true, but kasav echaram zichron true. Another pasuk says zichron true. So how do we reconcile two psukim? Is it an actual true or zichron true? So b'chashu chal b'Shabbos, when it comes on Shabbos, zichron true. I've skipped a line. Because shashu chal b'chol, when it comes out on a weekday, zichron yom true. Shashu chal b'Shabbos, zichron true, that it's a commemoration of true. Mazkir, we commemorate it by mentioning Shema Lo talking, but we don't blow. That's your question, right? So if it's reconciling the psukim, so also based on mikdash, you shouldn't blow if it comes down Shabbos. So Tana, we learned Echad b'chodesh, you should blow shofar on the first day of the month. First day of the month means no matter what day of the week it is, right? We're doich whatever day of the week it is. So it says, well, if that's the case, if we say Echad b'chodesh, whatever day of the week it is, as long as it's the date, I feel no, we read the same thing twice. Because the same thing twice. Okay? You guys are more verschlafen than I am. Uri Yishayim. Thanks for keeping me company.
That was the reason why I was sitting next to you.
Yeah. Do you have the place now? No.
Where it says Sham.
Sham.
The first of the Shams on the left-hand column. So it's
We're treating the Gemara in the Carbonata in the Torah.
In the margin there. I mean, in between the two.
right here.
That's Sham?
That's
Oh, okay.
Sham.
That's what you meant. Okay. Thank you.
So it says more. If it says Be'er b'chodesh, that teaches us no matter what you have to blow shofar Rosh HaShanah in the Beis Hamikdash. So why is it just in Beis Hamikdash? Anywhere where they know that Beis Din made a Rosh Hashanah, because they know it's the first day of the month, there should be doche, because they say it has to do with the first day of the month. So Tana Rabbi Yerushalmi Rosh HaShanah, it says in the same pasuk where it says it says we craft them. You should sacrifice. So Malcolm Shakar Barnet's claim the only place where Shabbos is doich, shofar is doche, Shabbos the Raisa is a place where the korbanos can be sacrificed. Now, a place where the korbanos can be sacrificed means what?
Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah, but not just the Beis Hamikdash we're talking about here, but in any event, what it means is, well, yeah, only the Beis Hamikdash should be doich, not anywhere else, right?
Now, what about before the Beis Hamikdash was built, when they had the palmos?
I guess, and then they could be doich anywhere. It's a good question. Taya Shimei says, we craft them, we just said them, Makol Shakabar is craving. Ari Chavraikum Rabbi Yonah, so the Chaveri said for Rabbi Yonah, I don't understand, Voxi doesn't say by Yovel. Avatar Shofar Chubah Chodesh, you should pass the shofar in the 7th month, which means, and there it's everywhere, all over the country, right? So, and it's Deicha Shabbos, so let's say the same thing here by Shemitah, because we have Mishpat Echad. Says more, Amar Alon, Zuat Mavir B'Artzachem B'Hacher Lo. No, that the Yovel shofar you do all over the country, even if it comes on Shabbos, but not the one of Rosh Hashanah. Amalei, so he said to him, Oh no, Zu Atem Mavir B'Artzachem B'Hacher B'Artz Chutzotz. Maybe we'll say a different thing. Maybe we'll say it's really a ribui. That this shofar we only do in your land, but another shofar we do both in your land and chutzlaretz. Maybe one Rosh Hashanah is dochel Shabbos, not just in Eretz Yisrael, but dochel Shabbos chutzlaretz. So Rabbi Yonah said, Iloi Aksiv, word to say Taviru shofar ba'artzachem. Let the shofar go in your land, ring in your land. So then Hayisi Omer Kan Miet Umochem Acharibo. That here it limited the scope, but elsewhere it expanded the scope, even beyond the Beis Hamikdash. Ela b'chol artzachem, But it does say b'chol artzchem. There's nothing I could do about it. So kan riva makom acher miyit. So even if it sounds like we're including, we're really excluding. We're excluding any place outside of Eretz Yisrael. You can only do Kiyah Shofar on Shabbos in a place where there's a Beis Din in Eretz Yisrael, not anywhere else. Okay? Again, because the language of b'chol artzchem, right? Only in any place in your land, any place that has a Beis Din, but only in your land, not anywhere beyond your land. Okay, so in Chutz La'aretz they can't Chutz La'aretz can't be Deicha Shabbos when Rosh Hashanah comes on Shabbos, so it can't be blow shofar. What?
Like the New Year one coming up.
Like what?
The next Rosh Hashanah is Shabbos.
Oh yeah, first day comes on Shabbos. Yerushalayim. How do you know that?
I always look ahead because it's the school year.
Eternal optimist. There was one other aspect in which Yerushalayim was superior to Yavne. Shekol irshi roa v'shamasu krova, any city which can see Yerushalayim, we hear Yerushalayim, and is close to Yerushalayim. V'cholova and can't come, there are no tchum issues preventing it. Talking boy can blow shofar in it. Uv'yavne lo yu talking in the Beis Din v'ani Yavne. They only blew shofar in the Beis Din, not anywhere else. Okay? Says more, the thing is, in order for a city to blow on Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah, it's got to have all of these qualities of so close to Yerushalayim. It can see Yerushalayim, and it can hear Yerushalayim, and it's close, and they can come. Rav and Yerushalayim. If they can see Yerushalayim, but they can't hear it, on Yerushalayim, Milamah, so Yerushalayim is higher than this village. Milamah stays down below, so they can see Yerushalayim, but they cannot hear it. Or vice versa, B'shamas ve'naroeh. If a city can hear Yerushalayim, but cannot see it, because a har mafsik, there's a city, there's a park between, right? What? Not a park, a mountain. Yeah. Roeh v'shamas ve'eno yichol lavo. If the city can see and hear Yerushalayim, but cannot come, why? Because they're too far. So because they're chutz latchum, right? So what's the status then? Can they be doche a Shabbos from Rosh Hashanah? Roeh v'shamasu krova. If a city can see and can hear and it's close, ve'en yichol lavo, and it cannot come, not because of halachic reasons, because the tchum shabbos can't come more than 2,000 hours, but because of practical reasons. Because hanachal mafsik, because there's a river in the middle. What's the status? Does that cut up Opas later, Erev, or does it not? Rabbi Yonah asked another question which Gemara is not going to answer. What about if you can get 4,000 amos away, right? You want to make your tchum there, but you can only make it there by an eruv. So does that count as well, or we do not count it because we can't put one eruv on top of the other, an eruv tafshin on top of the eruv tchumin, and it doesn't answer. Okay? Says more further. Hechmat Amar b'Yerushalayim. Just like you say Yerushalayim, shekol ir shisho roa v'shamas ukrova, that hears and is close, and yachol lovo, and can come. Talking about you blows over there. Af at Amar b'Yavne kakain. Do it say anything by Yavne? Says more no. Yerushalayim Dvar Torah. I'll tell you why. Because Yerushalayim the chiyuv to blow there on Shabbos Rosh Hashanah is doraisa, right? Vayoras Asmuchos Dvar Torah, and the cities nearby it are doraisa as well. Rabbi Yochanan Medzakai Maskin on Dvar Torah. Rabbi Yochanan there. This is all the doraisa, right? Actually, I misspoke. Rabbi Yochanan Medzakai al Dvar Torah. There, everything is doraisa, right? Because everybody's in vicinity of Yerushalayim. So Rabbi Yochanan comes out because it makes the Rabbon on top of the Raisa. That's not a big deal. We've had it all the time. However, the Yavne midivrei, the whole authority of Yavne is only rabbinic in nature, right? Interesting concept. Yavne, the Kedusha is only divreim. It's all, the whole concept is divreim. So I should make that clear. It's not talking about Yavne, it's talking about the blowing shofar for Rosh Hashanah. Yavne is at the Rabbana. It's not the rice, all right? The rice we say that Seichel Shabbos only based on Mikdash, not outside the base of Mikdash, right? So again, where am I? Yavne Ivreim. So in order to make the cities close to Yavne also follow the minhag of Yavne, so you have to uproot them. Where am I now? Rabbi Yochanan is going to make a takona l'takona. In other words, if there's a chiv d'oraisa in that city, so you can make a chiv d'rabbanan and all the surrounding cities to be doicha Shabbos. But if the ikar chiv is d'rabbanan, because Yavne is not a place which is doicha Shabbos mikra din. Where's the ikar place to be doicha Shabbos? In Yerushalmi. So if Yavne is only d'rabbanan, you're going to make a takona on that to allow the surrounding cities to blow on Shabbos. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? Rabbi Shimon Levi said, Yotzu Beisim Makom. Why the Beisim was in the hall when Rosh Hashanah began, but then they left. Below you talking, but they not begin because it has the blow shofar, because it has to be in a place that there's a Beis Din. Rabbi Yossi Bar Yekrai Simon, I feel me bias. Your query is that even from house to house, I feel me tracking Gitan. You're going from a big hall to a smaller room. Or Malaysia, he said to him, I don't know, but Rebbe is like a sign honorific for Gadol Ador. I can't shamati. I told you what I hear. I don't know anything more. I only know something of limited scope. That if they left their place completely, then you can't blow shofar. That was a famous case. I think I told you of Rebbe Akiva Yosef Schlesinger. I told you about him. He was a great Talmid Chacham. He's either student of Chasam Sofer or the Ksav Sofer. I don't remember which one. I Chasam Sofer who settled in Yerushalmi. He was a very rabidly anti-Zionist, but he lived before the real Zionist movement began. Really, in the late 1800s. So he blew shofar in Rosh Hashanah and Yerushalayim on Shabbos. So he only did it 1 year. He did it in the basin because it says you have to do it in the basin. We don't know if the basin moves, even if it works, right? But he didn't basically because there's shita of Rabbeinu Ephraim that's even bizman hazeh, right? That if you have a basin in Eretz Yisrael, so it can even be the Shabbos of bizman hazeh. So it says a lot of the Gedolim Yerushalayim didn't want to come because they're afraid they'd be associated with this revolutionary venture, right? But some of them stood by the window to listen from the outside of the room. Okay? You ever heard that one before? Okay. Akiva Yosef Schlesinger was called the Leva Ivri. Lulav Nita b'Mikdash Shiva. Originally, Beis Mikdash taken all 7 days in the Beis HaMikdash. Medina and outside Beis Mikdash Shiva Mechor only the first day of Pesukos. Mishkar Beis Mikdash, once the Beis Mikdash was destroyed, he's going to Yocham Mitzaki made a takon. Lulav Nita b'Mikdash Medina Shiva Zeichel Mikdash. You take the Lulav nowadays 7 days. Outside Beis Mikdash, Zeichle Mikdash. And he also made Takona, we all know, Takona Sheyom Hanev Kulo Aser. Chodesh is also until the end of the second day, Pesach, not the beginning of the second day. Raksiv, it says, it says in the context of Sukkot, rejoice before your God 7 days. East Tani died, those who learn Besimcha Shloim, Kosum Dabar. It's about the Simcha you have from eating Shlomim. East Tani died, those who learn that Besimchas HaLulav HaKosum Davar is the joy of the Lulav, right? Mandamar, it says that, I think Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchever used to sit all night with the Lulav in his hands. So at the first glimpse of dawn breaking, go out and fulfill the mitzvah. Okay, so that kind of mysterious nefesh here is that the people who used to use the Lulav all 7 days, even though it was not required at all, right? Not even the Rabbanan, right? We should do it in order to show the chavivus of the mitzvah, I assume. And according to him, anybody took the rule of 7 days just for the chavivus of the mitzvah. Those who learned no, it's not just the chavivus of the mitzvah. That is the mitzvah to be sameach. All the Litvaks left, right? The Sukkot is not a Litvish holiday. Because it says you have to be happy. You know, what's the Litvak going to do?
Well, Baron said it's the Jewish version of Thanksgiving. So
that was in order to preclude being happy.
Rather than, I'm not saying he didn't say not to be happy, but I'm saying there may have been his other slant on it.
Mm-hmm.
happy. It's like Thanksgiving.
But it says here, this opinion, each time Lulav Kosim Daber, that you have to take Lulav b'simcha. It's not even just sitting in sukkahs. The Lulav has to be b'simcha. So Mandamar b'simchas now is a whole bunch of gears changes here. The dealing of frying makes changes. Mandamar b'simchas halulav akosim daber, not shlovim. So this is talking about the simcha of lulav. But Yom Rishon Dvar Torah, both the first day and Sharkol Yom Dvar Torah, they're all Dvar Torah, right? As it says, Smach V'nei Shem Shivas Yomim. Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai Maskel Dvar Torah. So Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai, when the base of Mikdash was destroyed, so he followed the Doraisa of 7 days in the Mikdash, and he extrapolated from that to the rest of the Eretz Yisrael. But Mandamar b'simchas, it should be Shlomim HaKosim Adaber. He says possible about the Simcha Shlomim, that's 7 days. So even the Beis HaMikdash, according to that perspective, Yom Rishon Dvar Torah is a Doraisa, only the Yom Rishon. V'shar Kol Yomim Amidivrei, all the other days would be the Rabbanans, right? So it says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai, according to that, Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai, Maskin al Divrayim. If that's the case, Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai, when he instituted 7 days, is not really being Masakin on the basis of the Doraisa, it's being Masakin on the basis of the Rabbanan. That's going too far, right? Rabbi Yochanan Menzakai, Maskin Divrayim. Takana after another takana, and of course Yerushalmi does not answer, right? And it seems that there's a takana after another takana, so it's the Rabbanan to take 7 days. So we'll add on to the Rabbanan, we'll make it all 7 days and all of the diaspora. Big deal. Okay. Chavaya bunkli Rabbi Yonah. That's in front of Rabbi Yonah. Kamat atomar tomar yikraftem yishol Hashem shivas yomim. It says you should sacrifice your carbon tummy to God all 7 days to be Mechal Shabbos. Ain't Shiva li below Shabbos. There's no 7 days without a Shabbos coming. Kavos, it's similar to it says Smachlim Ne'Hashem L'Chechem Shivas Yomim. Ain't Shiva below Shabbos. It says take lulav 7 days. The Torah wasn't stupid. The Torah knew that within every 7 days there's a Shabbos. Yet it says 7 days. So we should learn from here that lulav is Teichel Shabbos, right? According to this. By the way, this is all Yerushalmi talk. That there's actual pasuk. The Havmin that there's a pasuk to teach us 7 days in the base of Mikdash. Not only finish Shivas Yomim. So the Yerushalmi, the Bavli doesn't have that. Okay. So now even I shouldn't say with confidence, but I don't think it's in the Bavli. So says the Yerushalmi. On my loan, they said no. Shani, the it says L'kach lechem b'yom rishon. There's a chink in the armor. It says you should take on the first day. What do you mean on the first day? You're going to be there for all 7 days, right? What do you mean you're taking for all 7 days? So it must be chilek rishon mehem. The first day is severed for them. Well, once the first day is severed for them, that means there are different madregas and kedusha in these 7 days. So then, how do we know which one can be Deichel Shabbos? Pashtus not. Rabbi said, "Ilu hayaksiv l'kachte kosu l'kachtem lifnei Hashem Elokechem." It would said, "Take before God your Lord." Now, I would have said that. Did I skip? I skipped a line. So let's say that in the base on Mikdash. Oh yeah, I got it. Now, according to this line of logic, in the Beis HaMikdash, 1 day is the Raisa, the other says 6 days are the Rabbanan, right? So what would be outside the Beis HaMikdash?
All days.
All days the Rabbanan, right? That would be a harmony. So that's the case. Yeah, we know that it was customary in the old days that the first day Yontif they took lulav and it was Doicha Shabbos. Why did they do that? Because they didn't have Gzera the Rabbah, right? What's Rabba's Gzera? Yeah, Shema Yela Chaytzu Chacham. Maybe the Chacham with it to teach how to shake lulav. So Rabbah was the one who told us definitively that you don't take lulav on Shabbos. But before Rabbah came along, you could take lulav on Shabbos, right? So Mi'at Mikdash Yidchem V'Guli Lo'icha. But you learn how Pesukim how can be Doicha outside the Yerushalayim, outside the Beis HaMikdash. There's more Rabbi Yed tell you. Only take lulav before God. Only there you can take before God and not anywhere else. But doesn't say that. It doesn't say it says take for you. Take for you. No matter where you are. Usmach Livnei Hashem Elokeichem Shivas Yomim. That's Livnei Hashem Elokeichem is in the safe of the pasuk. That's only in Yerushalayim. So the reish of the pasuk, which is about the first day, Kachtem Lochem Bayom Harishon. Take for yourselves the first day. That's anywhere where Lochem are. Wherever you are in the world, it's Deichel Shabbos. When it says Usmach Livnei Hashem Elokeichem Shivas Yomim, and the rest of Yontif, that's Livnei Hashem Elokeichem, that only pertains to the Beis HaMikdash, not to anywhere else. Okay? Says Yerushalmi Vaitim Barishona Imakabli Enes Chodesh Kol Hayom, which is to accept Enes Chodesh the entire day of the Rosh HaShanah. Pa'am Achas, one time the Shtawa Eidim Lavo, the Eidim came late, V'kilkul V'lat Mincha, that they only accept Eidim until Mincha, not beyond Mincha. Okay, only until Mincha time. What happens if Eidim didn't come out of Mincha? Bo Min Mincha Ma, if they came after Mincha time, Nogim Oisei Kodesh Shemach Kodesh, make 2 days Rosh HaShanah. That's how they were able to make 2 days Rosh Hashanah. They came late, and the Yeshir, the Levim said the shiur shel Yom Rosh Hashanah both days. Okay. Mishachar Beis Nogim Arasi Yom Kodesh Shemach Kodesh. Mishachar Beis Midrash Yishkon Rabbi Yochanan Metakel Shemukam Eretz Chodesh Kol Yom. Since it's Nebuch, no more songs to sing in the Beis HaMikdash, so we might as well accept Eidus HaChodesh the entire day. Okay. Says the Gemara a couple lines on Shmuel Bar Nachman. Named Ma'aser Shiur. What was the Ma'aser that happened? Once there was this a rumor in the city that Edom had come. So the Levine didn't say the shiur shel Yom a weekday because they thought imminently the Edom were going to come. Vos Srikim, and bandits came v'notlum, and they took away the Edom. I mean, the Skalkal Levine Bashir and Levine didn't say any shiur that day. Because they didn't say the regular Shishon because they were expecting any moment the Edom would come. They didn't know the Edom were stolen away by armed bandits. And they didn't say the shiur shel Rosh Hashanah either because they figured the Edom are still going to come, we have time. So bottom line, because that one result, we say if the Edom come late in the day, they just have to assume it's the day before the day of Rosh Hashanah and say Rosh Hashanah type praises. Okay, everybody say, this is as far as I got preparing. And I'm still awake. Not quite completely 100% awake, but enough that I can claim so. So let's quit while I'm ahead. Okay. While I'm awake, yes. Okay, what can I do for you?